Ugh.
I believe that America can be beautiful. How can America be made beautiful? Now, family, listen. My brother Imam Wadafuddin and I have had disagreement, but his followers and mine have never given each other as much as a bloody nose. Because in spite of our differences, there's a deep love in us. We don't like the things about our nation that is not good, but I don't want to live anywhere else. I want America to be made right. I don't want to see America go the way of Rome and Babylon and Sodom and Gomorrah. But why won't she go that way? If the men of religion and the women of religion keep silent.
You brothers and sisters, Assalamu alaikum. Notice that Says, our nation, talking about America, expose itself. Our nation. He's supposed to represent the nation of Islam. But no, he's representing America. He slipped and told you why he care about America. He supposed to represent the nation of Islam. He wants to protect America. America, but he calls them my enemy. So if they're enemy like he says, why he wants to stay here with our enemy? None he says adds up. See? He says they're our enemy, but he wants to stay here. He wants to be friends with them. That's what he's saying. I want to be friends with them. I want to make him good. Against Elijah Muhammad's teachings, against Matt Muhammad's teachings, but he's the best knower. No, anything happened to America. He says, well, they're not devils anymore, but they're our enemy. So why you want to be friends with your enemy? People that torture you, terrorize you, beat you, murdered you, did your shit for hundreds of years. Hundreds of years. You don't want to say anything happened to them. Nothing. And then he's telling you, oh, he represents Native Islam, but he just told you. He represents America. See, our nation. Think about it. But see, the people that are with him, brothers and sisters, I talked about wavelength and frequency. And maybe probably don't understand. We descend to a lower frequency and wavelength than him. We have enough energy. They're more powerful than us, Adam. But they were on a higher wavelength and frequency than we were. Now we're rising up. And keep this in mind, brothers and sisters. Very important. When he rise up, now we're rising up. Say they're on the third floor. Say we was on the 10th floor. We went down to the 9th floor, 8th floor, 7th floor, 6th floor, 5th floor, 4th. Right? 3, 4, 4. They're on the 3rd floor now. So we had to be on the 3rd floor with them as we descended down to the 2nd floor. Right? The 1st floor, to the basement. On the way back up, right? We go to basement to the 1st floor, to the 2nd floor. So we're the same freaks of wavelength as them, but we ascend above that. Okay? We can go to the 4th. They can't go to the 3rd, 4th floor. Their wavelength frequency is stuck on the 3rd floor. They're derivative of us. I'm not getting it. Well, they're stuck on the 3rd. They can't get any higher than that, but we can. We descended down because we have less energy. But now as we energize, keep that in mind. I'm going to speak to that later on. At some point in time, we're on the same wavelength frequency as them. So let me cut the chase here. There were some people, right, who even though they could have went to the 4th floor, preferred to stay on the 2nd, 3rd floor. Those are the ones that love this world's life. They gave it up for the hereafter. They're not demons. Right? They refuse to ascend to the next level. They love this world life. They say, Allah will lift you up. How can you lift you up? He will lift you up. It means you can be lifted up, but you was clinging to something. That means you can go up to a higher frequency. But you maintain yourself at a lower frequency. You have the ability to go to higher frequency, but hey, whatever reason is, and that's the people with Farrakhan. You have demons with him, but you also have some of our people, right, that are with him. They're the same frequency wavelength, and they can move up, but they would prefer to stay on that same wavelength frequency. Why? Because they're exploiting us. They're doing it because they want $1. They're doing it for a paycheck. They with see, you got people with Farrakhan because they're the same wavelength frequency as him. That's the demons. But some of our people on the same wavelength frequency. Demons can't get higher either. They get higher amplitude, but not a higher difference. But they can't change their frequency wavelength. They can't get higher. They go lower. But then some of us, we dare and say, Most of our people right now are in that frequency wavelength range, right? Because they don't know any better. They're mismanaging the energy. But once the energy is, what's about to happen is going to break their grip and they're going to move up to the next level. See? They're not clinging to the earth. They're being pushed down to the earth. The difference between clinging to the earth and being pushed down to that frequency. They're being pushed down to that frequency and wavelength. You understand? But you got those that are clinging to that wavelength frequency. They can move up. They hold on. No, I'd rather stay here. But there's other ones that have been pushed down there. And once that force is pushing them down is removed, they move up. Hope you understand, brothers and sisters. Let's move on. And here's what he thinks about. See, I told you, he's Caucasian. He's black-faced devil. That's why he talks like that. That's his nature. He don't see anything wrong with it. Because that's the way he sees things. Everything he heard from Master Muhammad, Elijah Muhammad, he interpreted that away. That's the way he see it. But that's the wavelength frequency he's on. So he sees things in those terms. You understand? So he might not even think he's lying. See? But he was able to recognize the Son of Man. So at that point, I guess he realized something. But the point is if you're like devils, they're in a certain wavelength frequency. They can't. That's why they couldn't understand the angel. Because it's written for a higher frequency, higher wavelength mind. So they cannot. They said I couldn't touch it anywhere near it. That couldn't anywhere near it because it's written on high frequency wavelength. It's for the frequency wavelength, right? For the springtime. See? They're on the wavelength frequency for the winter. Let's move on, brothers and sisters. Watch this. See here? That's his daddy, brothers and sisters. You see the resemblance? This is a fact. You can just Google it. That's his daddy, Percival Clark. He's a Caucasian. We had Farrakhan even admitting in his interview he had. Right? Look at the resemblance. That's him. He's not one of us. He's not seed of Abraham. So the covenant doesn't apply. That's why he doesn't talk about it. He doesn't talk about the covenant. He's not going anywhere. He's not going anywhere because the covenant applies to people that Abraham's seed, and he's not one of them. So he's telling the truth. He's not going anywhere. He don't want you to go anywhere either because he's living off of you. Like the devils are. The demons are. They're devils too. They're all living off of us. So if we leave, they go back to dwelling in caves and carrying on. Scrounge for food. Understand, brothers and sisters? You tell me that's not him? That's him. That's his daddy. Now, let's see how he feels about you. Let's see how he feels about master, his people. He might nothing happen to him, but see how he feels about you, the one that's taking care of him, the one he's exploiting, the one he's eating, the one that's feeding him, putting steaks on his plate, $100 suits on his back, $1,000 rings on his finger, mansions. The ones that see how he feels about you. The Muslims, male or female. Let's see how he feels about you.
When the Muslims were alive, I'll say it again. When the Muslims were alive, you dead as hell now on both sides.
Yes, sir, brother minister. Yes, we are. Yes, sir. That's real, brother minister. Both sides.
Wake us up, dear Papa.
When we was alive, we set up schools.
That's right.
When we were alive, we had supermarkets.
That's right.
We owned buildings. We owned farmland. we were busy doing something, hiring our people. Well, I'm telling the Muslims, damn it, if you don't come alive, you will die like you are. And I will say, thank you, Allah, because if they're not doing nothing on top of the earth, let the worms eat their ass.
Let the worms eat their ass. Let the worms eat their ass. The Muslims, both sides, male and female. The ones he's living off of. Survive him. He's a multimillionaire. He doesn't have any business. His business is you. Living off of you. His son, so-called Supreme Captain, millionaire too. He has no business. The business is you. And the reason why he's the next in line, keep that money under control. But he neglected to say that when the Muslims were alive, how they got killed. How they got killed because him and Wallace killed him. I was there. They just got rid of the first time, destroyed it. Got rid of the name, everything. Started something called the Bilalians. Got rid of everything. All the properties, banks, the stores, everything. And liquidated, took the money, and ran. When the wolves came, they was long gone. So they took a couple of sheep, right, back of the wolves, so they can make easy escape. Tell them line, Farrakhan. So that's why it was alive. They killed it, him and Wallace. And also, when the Muslim was alive, that's when Elijah was around, they had those things because they had a leader. So we worked and supplied Elijah Muhammad with the fuel to go and invest in those things. We sold papers, we did all the things we need to do to generate money, and we gave it to him. He invested in us. So we had residential housing, we had banks, we had farmland, we had stores, restaurants, jobs, and all of that under Elijah Muhammad. I worked harder than I ever worked. Even before I worked hard when I was in his army. I didn't mind doing it because I saw the benefit. I look around, but I need a car. I went right to the Mason's Arm Bank, got me a brand new car. And those Granadas when they first came out, against the car. And your job, right to plant, and it becomes foreman of the night shift. A place to stay, in a housing complex. The 87th Street, right across the street from that school. Apartment there. Need food, you're a supermarket. Want to go out, right? A salon restaurant. It was all there. Schools. My sister came, she had her children, right? Went to Nation of Islam schools. Elijah Muhammad invested money in us. Farrakhan put the money in his pocket. We had to do a goddamn thing in 40-some years. But he said, oh, we ain't producing anything. No, because you put in your pocket. You're the leader. So we give you the money, so how come we don't have our stuff? He gonna blame you. And that's exactly what Aaron did. All you got to do is follow Exodus, brothers and sisters. All you got to do is follow Exodus. Just follow Exodus, and you can't go wrong. So they don't want you to, all the Bible's corrupt, all this bullshit. They tell you all that because they don't want you. They know the demon's gonna follow them, but their job is to keep you, put the light out, put the light of Elijah Muhammad out from you. That's his job. That's why he uses it as a bait. He does our nation. That's why he's from America. He don't believe in any of that. But his job is to snuff out the light of Elijah. So he uses bait. Oh yeah, Nation of Islam. I'm representing Elijah. I'm representing Master Muhammad. If you are, you can't prove it. I give $5,000. You can prove that show me any verse in the Bible or Quran to support that crap you're saying. I give $5,000. That's it, brothers. Let's move on. I mean, it's like, like I said, it's simple. It's like, you pay a guide to guide you to a forest or something, right? You're supposed to know some trail or something. And halfway through, you lost. And then he turns to us, we lost. Hey, how we get? Because y'all stupid niggas. We lost. Wait a minute, hold it. We paid you to guide you. I don't care. You're stupid. You lost. It's dumb. He blamed you for being lost when we paid him to guide us through. Paid him to guide, but he blamed you for being lost. That's what he does. He blamed you. That's why I call it accused by brethren will be cast down. He blamed you. That's what Aaron did. He he was a leader. He built the golden calf right there, but blamed the people for it. Well, you was a leader. You was the leader. See? He blamed you. Oh, you sin for your wicked. That's why you don't talk about the covenant. The covenant says, 40 years was a sacrifice. We submit to Allah. We submit to Adam. He said, no, you're wicked and evil. So you don't deserve no covenant. You don't deserve no promised land. Because you're wicked evil. That's what he says. That's why he don't tell you. He said, we're not going anywhere. But you get no reward for being wicked and evil. Understand, brothers and sisters? Let's move on. This is a little add-on to follow up of yesterday. So, and we cover, just repeat a couple of things, over a couple of things, and then that'll be it for today. Brothers and sisters. But like I said, brothers and sisters, I try to get you to understand how things work. He's doing his job. He's attracting all the people that's on the devil's wavelength and frequency. For whatever reason. See? Those are clinging to it, right? And those that's naturally on it. And he's trying to get the ones that they're forcing on it. They're holding that balloon underwater. See? Those are the ones that he's, right? His grip, so he's broken on that. Because that wavelength frequency is the way, that's the frequency and wavelength of the season. That's the wavelength frequency of this season. Like the wavelength frequency of the winter. But spring's coming in. That's a whole new wavelength and frequency. There had been a higher wavelength frequency. And people can move up, but they've been held down under this one. Like holding that balloon under water. So soon we're going to break his foot before it's holding it down, and that balloon will spring up. Now people are going to spring up. See? Because this wavelength frequency is about to be overcome. See? That's what's called American Dream. He's getting ready to destroy American Dream. That's this wavelength frequency. The forces. That's the nature of the force that's holding us down. He's going to break that force. Now people come together, steal a great army. Because they can move to the next level. See, somebody hold them down on the third floor. You got people on the third floor, that's their natural third floor, right? See? And you got people on the third floor because they don't know about the fourth floor. See? They can go to the fourth floor, they just don't know about it. They don't let them know it's the fourth floor. And as soon as the door opens, they're on the fourth floor, there's a third floor behind. Then you got those that can go to the fourth floor, but they stay on the third floor because they was exploiting you on the third floor. And they're going to keep you on the third floor because along on the third floor, they're going to exploit you. And so that's not forgotten. So when the first floor open, some of them are going to flee to the fourth floor. Everybody can remember what they did on the third floor. Everlasting shame and appallment. My brothers and sisters. Wesley, Jeffrey. Yeah. We know who you are. And you see how but you see how Farrakhan feels about you. You got nothing but anger. See how angry he is? Got a little pimp scar. You know how he gets pimp scar? Ask the pimps. He's a pimp. Pimp and I says how you get pimps. Go ask people how you get a pimp scar. You ever notice he got one? So that's how he care about you. He play a lot. Worms eat your ass. And you provide for him. You take care of him. You the one made him multimillionaire. But the ones that have been beating us, torturing us, terrorizing us for hundreds of years, oh, I'm not happy to him. Please, I'm not happy to him. Come on, brothers and sisters.
$5,000. Cash payment to anyone who can prove that what lying son of a devil Farrakhan is preaching is consistent with the lessons, supreme wisdom, of Master Fard Muhammad Elijah Muhammad's representation of his teacher Master Fard's teachings.
Yeah, this brothers and sisters, bounty for forever. No one has yet spoke to it, stepped to it. They aware of it. They make comments. Oh, why you speak against Farrakhan? He's a good man. He's jealous. No. You got that just in one verse. The Bible Quran supports this crap, as you claim. Your $5,000, ship me now. It's a win-win for you. Your $5,000, if I don't pay up, then you can say, well, I'm a fraud. But no one's done it. Not yet, not even tried. They can comment, they can text, they can contact me. But no one's ever, oh, what you saying is Photoshop. I show picture for, they never come and make this challenge, ever. And so why is that? People that's aware of this know it's not here forever. Move on, brothers and sisters. Master Covenant, who they never talk about. This is where we are right now, brothers and sisters, war in heaven. Let me say a couple of things. I'm not going to stay long. The war in heaven started back in June. Talking about for years. Farrakhan announced that so-called Armageddon, I should know you're wrong. Remember 2 years ago? You getting Armageddon? We don't know what the hell he's talking about. No, so now the war has started. They said there'd be 6 months pause, approximately 6 months pause, and resume. There'd be a war between Iran, the Shia against the Sunni, and against America, Britain, and false Israel. That's what's happening. So the pause would end in December, begin January, between January and February, where we are right now. And so now the wars are on again. They position themselves for the next move. The war's back on. And Michael is matched by Muhammad. Now these clowns out here, they don't know this. They're talking, they pull shit out their ass, calling honey. The so-called son of Sham. He's so sick, he's stupid. Oh boy, what do you think will happen to that? But some brothers you're going to have to witness it. You have to witness it. Because I can talk till I get blue in the face, and I know what's going to happen to them. And they're not pretty. And that clown on this thing, he got angry. Because I know one time they were doing a live chat, and I went in, I called him out on it. I just, typed it in. And so he had somebody reading the comment, right? And they read what I was saying, and he caught it. Hey, man, who said that? Hey, shut that down. See, whoever's read just read what I was saying. And then after that, he put on his thing. Anybody speak ill of me, I'm going to put him in hell. What a joke. Yeah? Okay, buddy. You put him in hell. Because you are putting a lot of people in hell, and you're going to be right there with them. Soon. 2026, a year. February. Ooh, February. Anyway, that's the war. I said during the war, if you just follow Exodus, brothers and sisters, they talk about this war. Because when Moses returned to Aaron's congregation, remember he came back to Aaron's congregation. Aaron was running it. So God sent him back. God says they have turned immediately from the way. See, you just got to follow Exodus. So he say, that's simple. So what's the problem? You follow Exodus 100%. I'm saying this part bad. Follow it 100%. Throw Malachi in on top if you want. And you can't go wrong. But they don't talk about that. Because right there, you come back, it was a war going on, but there was no sign of victory or defeat. So what was going on? When he came to Aaron's camp, well, God sent him back because God says, hey, that guy, Aaron went crazy down there. Turned away from the way. And he wants to destroy him, so you better get down there and take care of that. And then when he goes to Aaron's camp, I started accusing the people, and he separated all the Levites from Aaron, right? From Aaron's camp. So he separated them from Aaron. So remember, this is Aaron's camp, now Farrakhan's camp, Farrakhan's organizations. You understand? So he separated them out. And then had his people that separated themselves from Farrakhan. What about Farrakhan and his people? Right there in Exodus. This stuff is very clear, but so they will have no, like I said, nobody's even going to listen to their excuse. There's any voice that rises to be silent. We're not even going to listen to their excuse. Because if you was with him, you should have been with him because of Scripture. If you was with Farrakhan, you should have been with him because of Scripture. Because Scripture guides you to him. Because you wasn't there because of Scripture, because you wouldn't have been there if you was there because of Scripture. So you was there because you was on the same wavelength and frequency he is. So you get the same thing he gets. That's why you're there. Because it could not possibly be because of Scripture. I don't care if you're talking, I don't care if you're talking sealed Bible, unsealed Bible, moon, sun, Quran, what. You cannot be what you would not be with Farrakhan because scripture is impossible. There's no scripture that support what he's doing. None whatsoever. That's why they have not come to get that $5,000. So they did because they're on the same frequency of wavelength. Right? And that's their natural frequency of wavelength. Because the other one was there too. Our people was there with him. The Levites were there with him too. So they was on the same wavelength frequency he was on too. Only thing is, once they heard higher frequency wavelength, they moved, once they saw a door open, it was the fourth floor. They went up to the fourth floor. They didn't know it was the fourth floor. But as soon as Elijah came and said, hey, calm him down. I'm up on the fourth floor. Hey, they ran up to Elijah. They left the third floor with Aaron. And then you had some of them, right, say, hey, man, I want to stay here on the third floor with you. I can go to the fourth floor, but I want to stay here, man, because I'm doing good here, man. I'm getting steaks, man. I got a nice car. I got an American dream. I want to stay here with you. You see, they can go to the fourth floor, but they choose to stay on the third floor. They're the ones clean to the earth. You understand what I'm saying? Because they say, man, we got good here, man. And then what happened? And they told the ones on the fourth floor, go wipe out those on the third floor. Exodus is very clear on this, brothers and sisters. Very clear. Okay? And I'm making it clear to you. I'll make it even more clear about those folks. Everlasting shame and department. When you speak about frequency, then you can explain that them a little better. I tell you, as time goes on, it gets clearer and clearer and clearer, brothers. But the problem, the thing is that the way the universe works is simple. But to a gorilla, it's not simple. It's the most complicated thing in the world. It never figured out. But it's simple. But say, well, yeah, but if you make if you're God, it's simple. It should be simple to you. Okay? It's just like, you say 20 pounds, that should be simple for a man. But if the man sitting around and on dope and ain't working and ain't doing exercise, anything else, he gets so weak he can't lift the 20 pounds. He has the ability to do it, but he can't do it because he's not doing it. Not putting energy into building his muscles. And so you got a lot of people not investing in their muscle, investing in their brain. I was out there when it just came to me. I was this morning, yesterday, and I didn't realize, I hadn't thought about it. Like I said, I wasn't a nerd. So you might thought it was. I hung out. I was a new. I hung out, right? Everybody knew me. I didn't take no shit from anybody. I was in fights all the time. Right? But I hung out. But I also hung out at the library too. I didn't realize I had read so many books. I said, damn, I didn't know I read all those books. I was thinking it was one of some books I read. So I don't know how I picked them out. But nobody told me to read them. I was just a reader. I spent time in the library. I didn't spend all the time hanging on the block. I did hang around the block, right? I love the sisters. They like me too, so I started talking. And then we show me shit up because I've been talking about science. I didn't hear about that. I didn't know anything to talk about. That's what I was reading. That's what I liked. So I had an inclination to develop this. It just occurred to me when I was a child. This is after my father passed, right? He passed when I was 14. It occurred to me, I said, if I got to go through this life, I was already shocked, scared to death because it's hell thing. I said, if I got to go through this, I ain't asked to be here. I need to understand what it is. What is this I'm doing? When it just made sense to me. So I started trying to figure out how things work. Especially because I couldn't believe anybody. Because I hear one thing, one person, some other person, and then somebody said, well, you got to be a good Christian. And I'm thinking, what if I was born in India? They would tell me I got to be a good Hindu. So something's wrong somewhere. Everybody can't be right. In other words, I had the instinct or whatever. I don't know what you might call it. Things had to add up to me. I wasn't going to accept anything anybody just said. And I came to that conclusion when I got in the Army, because one day it came to a screeching halt. Because I was in Germany, and the chaplain came and said, you got to go to church. Why I got to go to church? To tell everybody to go. I ain't going up there. Well, you can't make me go to no damn church. I didn't go either. At that point, I said to myself, something's wrong here. And I started looking at things that I've been told. I said, everything I've been told, I can't prove any of this stuff. You're going to hell if you die. There's Jesus. There's this, there's that. And I can't prove any of this stuff. You got a soul. Right? Life after death. And I can't prove any of this stuff they're telling me. I said, hell, I'm not going to accept anything anymore. I said, I got a brain. It's based on calculations and based on logic. So at that time, I'm 17 years old, right? I said, I'm not going to accept anything. I'm going to reject everything that I've been told. I reject it all. I said, I'm not going to believe anything I've been told, about anything, nothing. And I'm only going to accept stuff that I can prove. And damn near, I damn near had a nervous breakdown. But at that point, I didn't know a damn thing. I didn't know anything. I can't damn. I can't believe it. I don't know any stuff they've been telling me. I can't believe any of it. I can't prove any of it. Because you walk around and think you know shit, you don't know a goddamn thing. I didn't know a damn. I said, man, I can't. Everything I was told, I couldn't prove any of it. I didn't know if any of it was true. But I understood mathematics. I said, I can't prove it mathematically. I don't know how to deal with it. Mathematical logic. Logic is a math form of mathematics. That's what I did. And I didn't have a nervous breakdown because I didn't know anything. And gradually, I started looking at stuff that I was told, and I'd look at it, and I couldn't prove it. I rejected it. At that time, I was into the Bible. That's my father passed, and my mother was gone. I said, I need something. Tell me what to do, because I had no idea. I'm 14 years old, and I had nobody cared about me and my sister. She's 1 year younger than me. Who's alone? I said, I don't know what I'm supposed to do. My father didn't have any education. I said, I had no idea. I said, well, let me go to the Bible, because my mother, she was deep in that Bible. I said, I'm going to use follow that guidance. Right? So I tried trying to follow that as best I could, not based on what people was telling me. In fact, what they was telling me wasn't what I was reading in there. Until I had an event in the military, and I had that event. I said, I dropped the Bible too. And I don't even touch the Bible. I can't prove this stuff either. I rejected everything. I'm an atheist, didn't believe anything, rejected everything. And then I started gradually. I nearly had nervous breakdown. I was a little older. I probably had a nervous breakdown because I was messed up. I walk around thinking I knew somebody knew a goddamn thing. It was like somebody dropped 10,000 pounds on top of my head. I said, damn. And I didn't know how I work, how I got here, why I'm here, nothing. And gradually, I got a lot of opposition. You know? But I wouldn't listen to anything anybody was telling me. I mean, I had to obey orders in the military, right? I questioned that also. There you go. Gradually. Accept this, accept that, check this, right? Put it on back burner and say, well, man, I'm not sure about this one. I'm not going to accept it, but I got to do something. So I put that down, the coach look at it until I made Elijah. All of a sudden, boom, stuff started making sense. 100%. Started making sense. Now I got the Injil, I was all over. Everything together, that Injil, and two things happened at the same time. Injil, plus understanding that pressure is the mathematics of our reality. Those two things came together at the same time. Move on, brothers and sisters. So I moved above. See, when they talk about baptize, that's what it means. They talk about baptize, it means initiate you to a higher level frequency and wavelength. Elijah Muhammad lifts you above the wavelength and frequency of the devils. Farrakhan drag you right back down to it. And them drag me down to it. I stay on the same frequency, wavelength Elijah Muhammad got me up to, and I was banging. Good homes, friends with all walks of life. And one business living in a mini mansion. Jamming. Orange Newark. Orange Jersey, rather. Oh, not Newark. Orange Jersey. Berkeley Avenue. Mini mansion. Beautiful place. They get about 5 bathrooms in something. I don't know, 3 floors. I was jamming, have my own business. Rolling the dough. Following Elijah Muhammad. Then I ran to Angel. So, Elijah Muhammad gave me a whole mine, a silver mine. Then I ran to a gold mine. They gave the silver mine for the gold mine. Okay. Farrakhan taking you back down to the copper mine. He's telling you it's gold. It's more brown sisters. Okay, again. Abomination of desolation, brothers and sisters. Look up abominable. It says it clearly. The uprising was put down with great cruelty. That's exactly what's happening. It was uprising. It tells you what happened. It happened over in Jerusalem. Now, there's this person called Van Impe, and I forget his other guy. He was an Adventist. I forgot the name of that. Tomorrow's World. I think called Tomorrow's World. That's the way it used to. Yeah, I think that was the name of the show. And then Van Impe, and always, they used to, hold on. Oh, excuse me. They used to preach on that, abomination of desolation, years ago. And that was put a sign in the end, big sign. But that, all hell was going to break loose from that, right after that came about, abomination of desolation. So, and it's going to be in Jerusalem, so forth, so on, just like what's happening over there right now. Come on, brothers. But they had it all other way around. See, they were saying about this is going to take place, but it says it's going to be the Arabs that's going to be putting genocide on the Jews and carrying on. And then they're going to be so bad, the Jews are going to be almost totally wiped out. And then that's when they're going to call on Jesus. It's that rapture stuff. And that's when Jesus is going to come back, because now his people finally turned to him. That's the way they presented it for years. I used to watch that stuff. Man, Hippie, and like I said, Tomorrow's World, and there's a few more. And they're breaking down scripture, right? And, they still got, there's a bunch of them out there still. I don't remember their names offhand. But then when it shows up, it's the opposite of what they were saying. It's supposed to be opposite. It's supposed to be the Jews supposed to be getting hit with genocide. And the Arabs put genocide on them. And when it's sort of backwards, something happened here, something wrong. And they realized it was wrong. And false Israel, like Jesus said, is fake. We true see Abraham, because that's the reason I put false Israel to begin with, to take our vision the way Elijah Muhammad gave us. See, people about vision perish, and vision is what you need to unite you. Without a vision, like you don't know why I'm here, why I'm doing anything. Vision unites people, and we as a people did not have a vision. We as a people had no vision. They told us what American dream was our vision. So Elijah Muhammad gives a vision. That vision is your path to your reward. It's like when you work, you have a vision. You have a vision you're going to get paid on the weekend. That's a vision. That's not a dream. A dream say, I don't know if we get paid or not. A vision, in your mind, you're going to get paid. That's a vision. You understand? So the thing is that the Abrahamic covenant, right? That's a vision. In other words, we get paid for our submission. Our submission is a sacrifice. So for 40 years it says we'll be afflicted. When you're afflicted, that means somebody doing something to you. That's not a punishment. We'll be afflicted. They will afflict us, and we serve them, and they'd afflict us. And so our reward would be, after that 40 years, we return home, and the people that did that to us, we punished. That's what it says right there. So our vision was that, and Elijah Muhammad, because remember, he told Martin Luther King about that vision and convinced Martin Luther King of that vision. Martin Luther King went out and spoke on that vision, the promised land. And I'll get I'll be with you, but you can know how to put. He said, the speech. He was dead the next day. They killed him right away because they don't want you to have a vision, because they want you to be under their control. Because a vision will unite you. And so they destroyed. Elijah Muhammad said there was a vision, and they just tried to destroy the vision by putting false evidence. Say, no, that's wrong. Elijah lied to you. They're the true seed Abraham. Took our vision away. That was an attempt. But as long as Elijah Muhammad was there, those people was listening to him, they maintained that vision. I keep forgetting to put this portrait in there, because there was a vision. That portrait was memorialized in a painting of us leaving here on a boat with Elijah, and those that were left behind was on the shore getting their ass kicked by the devils. I remember the show. I showed it a few times in the past. You understand? So that was the vision. And then I maintained that vision, and I was doing well. Money, good homes, and friendships, and all walk of life. That was the vision. And then at Farrakhan, his job was to take that vision away from you. We ain't going nowhere. When he tells you not going anywhere, he said you don't have a vision, because the vision was going to promised land. That's the vision, going to the promised land. He said he's not going anywhere. So he snuffed out that vision, because people without vision perish. Now ask Farrakhan what's his vision. Ask him what's the vision they got over here. L. Ron Hubbard, Scientology, American Dream. He just said a minute ago, our nation, America. You're supposed to snuff out a dream. And if you don't have a dream, that means you're going to perish. We're not going to be united. And further, he says, we didn't come over here as a sacrifice. We didn't come over here because we're in submission to God. We got just the opposite. Because it was wicked, it was evil, and we was being punished. Listen to him. We was being punished. So you don't get a world being punished. So you don't talk about the covenant. You don't talk about the message of the covenant. You don't talk about the danger of the message of the covenant. Because he's part of the process of keeping us dead with no vision. If you don't have a vision, you're already dead, because it says people without vision perish. So it says that our nation was dead because they have a vision. And it says, Son of Man, preach to the four winds. And he gave him a vision. He did. He said, Son of Man gave him the vision. Who is the Son of Man? He gave him the vision. And that they came together immediately. So he preached to him. He gave him the vision. Here's your vision. Once they got that vision, they came together. Once they try to stop and definitely attack you. We want brothers and sisters. But right here is June. That was the war. I'm not going into all the details. That's chapter 4 of the fourth seal, right? Fourth seal, not chapter 4. And it says, there be silence. That was. The war was going on in June. And then it stopped for about 6 months. I think six said about half now, so somewhere between 6 and 7 months. That's what happened. So the war started in June, and so July got July, August, September, October, November, December. It's 6, but a little more than 6 because it said about. So January, start again. Start again, just on time. And I told you this before it happened. And so now the war has started back again. They're in a war footing. They attacked them. They already attacked them. Right? Those riots and everything else, they try to deny. False Israel, false America trying to deny. See? Iran blocked it. They threw a punch and Iran blocked it. So now they're trying to figure out what's the next punch to throw. That's where we are, brothers and sisters. Abomination of desolation. Those guys, they don't talk about it now because it reveals who they're going to. Abomination of desolation takes place. It said what happened in Jerusalem. The people that's committing the cruelty, they're the ones destroyed. So you see, Jerusalem shot by armies, its destruction is now. It means the people who's committing the cruelty, their destruction. So that means false Israel, they couldn't be the seed of Abraham because once they returned, they would not be destroyed. But it says, so that's why they don't. It's clear that abomination of desolation is going on, but they don't talk about it no more. They don't want you to know. Because that's a sign to you. So they're hiding it. It's clear that's what's going on, brothers and sisters. So the war started. And so he's surrounding, what's Trump doing, surrounding the whole place? Or ships and everything else? He's not doing that for fun. Everybody says they expect him to, right, to go kinetic. Kinetic means actually throwing the punches, right? Within hours. So we'll see. But it's going to happen. It's actually not going to happen, it's happening. More and brothers and sisters. Okay, remind you again, brothers and sisters. See, they don't pay attention to those lessons. Maker, owner, creator, planet Earth, God, universe. That means everything in this earth, on it and above it, in it, whatever, belongs to us. But yet we have nothing. See, when they give those lessons, think about it. So how can I have anything? Who has it? They look across the world, everybody got a piece of us. That's what said, do you see all nations be blessed? Yeah, all the nations are blessed. Because they live off of us. That's the blessing. Nobody's living off any other nation but us. Because everything they have belongs to us. The identity, they got identity. That's how identity they got. They say they're Israel and they're not. That's who we are. They got us. They're living off us. They make us work for them, slavery and everything else. Right? They got control of us. They got control of our nation. They got control of our nation. They got control of our identity. Ishmael over there, they got control of our land. They got our land. That's our land. It tells you we're going to return there after 400 years. Between the river Euphrates and the river Egypt. You look on the map, that's Arabia. And they got their economy, it's China, India. And then what Farrakhan got our image and destroyed our vision. He took our vision away. You're not going anywhere. That's the vision. If we're not going anywhere, then what's our vision? If we don't have a vision of going home, the promised land, where's our vision? So you don't have one. Tell me what your vision is. Oh, going to Jesus after you die? It's not a vision. What's your vision? Ask these black folks out here, where's their vision? That's what their vision is. They don't have one. And the scripture tells you, without a vision, you're dying. And just ask how people don't take my word for it. Just ask, where's your vision? Oh, I'll be a politician one day. That's not a vision. It's an aspiration, not a vision. A dream, not a vision. Not a vision. That's why I said, Mr. Come, he'll give you a vision. Farrakhan said, you have no vision because you're not going anywhere. So he said vision away. And then he gets Scientology and all that stuff. You understand what I'm saying, brothers and sisters? Did you get it? So his job's to take that vision away. And he's being paid by Arabia and the devils. Don't tell me that because Wallace was paid by the devils. If you ever went to his so-called Friday meetings, anybody tell me I'm lying. They probably still do it now. I know they do it because I went to a couple of them. In the back of it, his little masjid, whatever you called it, there always a couple of Arabs. I always saw two, maybe more. I always saw two. In the Arab dress and everything else, they were sitting at a table in the back where everybody that bow now, smell everybody's butt and everything else, right? They were back there, they was ordering the service. Make sure you were saying that Sunni stuff. You weren't talking about returning home, we're talking about Elijah stuff. So it was paying Elijah to keep I'm telling people that's our land, that's their land. Because they sold us into slavery. They betrayed us. They made sure we never come back. But it's too late now, it's coming back. And so in other words, the bottom line is that look what we got accomplished. Get back, we got to take back everything they take from us, and they're not going to give it up willingly. That means that's the apocalypse, total war. Total war. First, we got to find our way out of here. Get our image, get our idea back, ID back, identity. Get the hell out of here. Get our vision, right? And get rid of these. World cheap clothes now from out amongst us. Farrakhan and them. They're polluting our nation. So that's a battle right there. And then we got to go battle, take our land back. That's a battle, another war. Then to maintain control of our land, we had another battle. And the 10 horns, that's China, India, they talk about in chapter 17. These 10 keys will make war with the Lamb. Brothers and sisters. That's what we got to overcome. And right now we have nothing. So look what we overcome all of this. Get back to who you are. Get back to your wavelength and frequency. Okay, let's go on. Okay, so where I left off, yes, I'm going to go back to global warming, brothers and sisters. Global warming. Right? Now, you understand, it says they would go out to see the whole world. Everything that you know, brothers and sisters, unless you prove it mathematically, is a lie. Because you live in the wintertime, and in wintertime, everything is cold. But you like the sunshine. You like the heat. But you got frostbite over here. Everything is cold here. So they tell you is false. And why? Because the point is, the closest they can come to it is sealed Bible. And that's the Bible of the winter. Now, it's true for the winter, but you go into the spring, so that means nothing of it is any good. So he just says all a lie. You can't apply winter stuff in the spring. It's all a lie. It was good for the winter, but for spring, it's all a lie. You understand? It doesn't work. It doesn't fit. It doesn't add up for the spring. So everything you've been told here, the mind you have, is a winter mind. You have a winter mind. So it's all wrong. And now and you have a problem with it. Lately, you have more problem with it than you ever had before. Because before, when you was in the fields, that was it. All of a sudden, spring start coming in, and all of a sudden, hey man, this mind ain't working too well. Because things are throwing out. It ain't so much winter anymore. Something else coming in here, other things coming in. And when it's dead winter, man, it made sense. Everything that made sense. But now it doesn't make any sense anymore. When spring comes in, it's getting confusing. It's confusing. Because you still got a winter mind, but spring's coming in and things ain't working right anymore. Now if you stuck in, still trying to stick in the winter, now if you understand your transition to spring, then things start working for you. Spring stuff start working for you. I know somebody said, man, well, you know, you live this world's life. I said, I don't even waste time talking before I get there. Okay? I'm preparing for the spring. I don't have attachments to the winter. I don't have a mortgage. I don't have any attachments to the winter. Okay. I'm moving to the spring. The spring come in, it don't hurt me. I go to more mathematics on that, but I'm just leaving it like that, bro. Says you transition to the spring, then you start acting. So many spring things starts working, and winter things stop working. But you're still in the winter, so you still got to wear. As you transition, you still got to wear warm clothes and stuff, right? Maybe wearing fur coats. Now you're wearing less. You still. You don't wear as much, but you still got to stay warm as long as the winter there. But as it gets warmer and warmer and warmer, you need less clothes. You understand what I'm saying? So if you're going to jump out there and say, oh, it's spring coming, and then you're going to jump out there with no clothes on, nothing, right, to my swimsuit, then you're going to freeze your ass off. Why do you got to explain these things all the time? So you in the winter, you still got to have winter. You here in the winter, match from how much here in the winter, right? Then you have to buy food. They threw them in jail, all kinds of here to deal with the winter. Because here in the year. We transition in. So you say, hey, you getting warmer? Okay, I'm wearing less clothes. I'm going naked. You know what I'm saying? Okay. So people look at me and say, yeah. Right? I'm more and more spring. I'm doing less and less. Like winter. I don't need as much winter anymore. That's why I don't need winter at all. I'm not going to lock myself into the winter. I'm glad they didn't buy me fur coats and everything else. I know it's getting warmer. Why not invest in fur coats when those spring's coming in? See what I'm saying? So now you mismanage your energy. Instead of buying clothes that's more transition clothes, put that away. But you got a transition phase. So you should be limited. Move on, bro. So anyway, like I said, global warming, everything they tell you is winter stuff is in their favor. They don't tell you things from their perspective that's good for them. And global warming is bad for winter people. Because by definition, you don't want the spring to come in if you're a winter person. If you're a snowman, you definitely want the spring to come in, do you? You understand, brothers and sisters? If you're a snowman, you don't want the spring to come in. So all these things you're talking about is evidence of the spring coming in. That's why I'm going to talk. I'm just going to talk about that now, and I'm going to leave it at global warming. That's one example. That especially even the scripture, the angel. But you still want to hold on. You don't want to upgrade your brain. We're going to the world, right? At a level, but you don't want to You don't want to get your brain operating. You don't want to spend the energy to get your brain operating on waves. So what you going to get to? You're going to get to you have to think, oh, I'm going to lay around and people going to build my house for me. People going to do. It's super technology. We're not going to be living in a cave. That's why I'm going to show up with a flying carpet. Super technology. Even the devils, right? They use our creativity, but still, this didn't come out because they scratched their ass. They had to use their brains, even though they stole a lot of stuff, they still had to use their brains to get it. Even though it's limited, they still use their brains to build this. So if you don't want to start thinking on the level that you need, then you're going to stay right here. That means you chose to keep thinking in the winter. You chose to keep winter thinking. You chose to keep winter thinking. Because you can't tell me, oh, man, I just can't do it. No, okay. I put man, I can't go, oh, man, I can't lift that weight. No, you're not can't. You probably can't lift it because you ain't trying. So you get a smaller weight, you keep pumping that until you get stronger weight. But you don't pump anyways. You think, oh, well, I can't lift 50 pounds, man. We'll start with 10 pounds. But you ain't going to do anything. Well, I can't 50. I'm going to the gym tomorrow, man. I can't be there 50 pounds. The attitude, you see what I'm saying? Nobody's born knowing calculus. Nobody's born knowing. They say, well, Jesus he spoke to people in the cradle and in old age. No, it meant when he was a young man, he was speaking wisdom. And was old man, he still spoke. He was speaking wisdom. Because well, I'm move on, bro. I'm getting distracted here. Anyway, global warming is a good example there, because see the devils this winter, and yeah, let me speak this for a little bit. I got some graphics here. But see, our people had no understanding of the universe. How can you live and operate and you don't understand what you live and operating in? So I had to understand how this world works, what I'm doing here, why I'm here. Especially after I'm going to hell, after I die in ESB here. I'm being there forever. I mean, I got to figure this thing out. I'm sitting in hell telling me, man, I wish I had, no, man. Maybe a hell is this, maybe not. I don't know. They told me. I don't know. Mama told me. It must be right, but who told Mama? So, everything is energy. I've already proved that. So as the universe expands, there's less energy here. And less. Get real low, right? But as you get low, there's less energy. That's what cold is. The more energy, the hotter it is. The less energy, the cooler it is. If you want to cool something down, you take energy out of it. The more energy you take out, the colder it gets. Ice has very little energy in it. Some, little, very little. So the earth cooled down. Earth cooled down, right? The two parts of the earth that didn't get direct sunlight, they froze. That's two poles. It froze. That means all that water froze. So it freezes. That means it, right? If it freezes, so okay, it freezes. So you got two poles there, and then it freezes right there. Now that means there's less water in circulation. That's what I meant to say. Those are two continents there. I looked it up again. I just don't know. I didn't check the actual size. But Antarctica and Arctica, those are continents. But they was on two poles. And they got less sunlight, so they're the ones that froze first. So all that water froze. In large continents, that water froze. So the water froze, that means less water in circulation. Less water in circulation, right? That means less rain. Because it's all ice. Ice don't rain. So therefore you start having deserts. There's less water. Right? Desert, you start having islands. The water was covering them, and now there's less water. The water levels drop because all that ice is out, all that water is taken out of circulation. So now islands are revealed. Coastal lines are revealed that wasn't there before. because the water level is lower, because less water in circulation. And on top of that, there's less rain and stuff. So now you got deserts. You understand, brothers and sisters? And so that's the state. And the people have less control of themselves. But take energy to maintain the nation, energy to do anything. So that gets worse and worse and worse. That's why I get to the point where you got wicked people ruling. I explain in detail. I'm not going to the math of it right now. And got wars and everything else because you got conflict, because less energy. Just give me a general view. Okay? So now, that's the way the world is. That's the way when the people find the world. Deserts, islands, coastal areas exposed. I mean, you got coastal outlines that wasn't there before. And so they build there. They build on the islands. They build on the cold things. Hey, look there, man. It's new land here, man. You know, exposed. They build there, right? You see, so forth, so on. Okay, now spring comes to start warming up. Start warming up, what happens? Start warming up, the ice starts melting. And it just comes back to the earth. So now it's the reverse happening. So now water comes more surface. The water level rises. That means some islands are taken out. Right? As water rise, because now the water's all covering islands now. And the coastal lines, the water rise, take out the coastal lines. Remember, this is the way when the people built, they built all this stuff because they thought that was also exposed, was available to them. But now the ice is melting, and now you got more rain. Now the desert is suddenly disappearing. And you got more life, more plants and flowers and stuff, because now, you know, it's more rain, more water, more available land now. Because the Arctic, those two continents are starting to be exposed. You know what I'm saying? But as the process happening, as the ice melts, right? Because the Earth is getting warmer, but you have this contrary effect. What does that mean? Because now that the ice is melting, the ice is melting into the oceans. That means the oceans get cooler because ice is cooling them, melting. So by that, they cool the atmosphere. So now, as a process of you say it gets colder. You say, wait, hey, it's probably global warming. Yeah, it's getting colder because the ice is melting, and it's melting to the rivers, all oceans, and it's causing the oceans to cool down, and the cool oceans will cool the air, so the atmosphere, everything is colder, and it'll keep getting colder and colder and colder as long as the ice keeps melting and melting and melting, right? Until eventually all ice melts. Now you got two beautiful continents there. That's fresh land, fertile land. Hasn't been touched in 6,000 years or a little longer, right? And then everything starts warming up. But now you got all kinds of vegetation, having more deserts, because all that rain, all the deserts are gone. They got all the vegetation, and it's getting hot. But the point is now you got gardens, trees all over the place. So now the planet gets hotter, but you're in a garden. So all this trees, everything is protecting you from all the rays of the sun and from the universe heating up. You get it, brothers and sisters? So let's see what I got here. So here's the earth spinning. Got poles, top and bottom. Sun doesn't see the earth. Sun warms the whole planet, but the poles don't get it. Right? So they cool. They cool down when there's just less energy. It was less energy. But see, now it's melting because the universe is contracting and it's melting. So now the ice is cooling oceans. Oceans are cooling the air. That's why it's colder and cooler. Man, it's cold, man. It's cold all over the country. All the world's getting cooler and cooler. Right. Because the ice is melting. It's been cooler and cooler and cooler. We got more rain. Eventually all the ice will melt. Then you got two beautiful continents. And that place started heating up. But now you got all kinds of vegetation, food everywhere. If you eat vegetables or you eating fruits, it's everywhere because now you got more rain. Stuff's growing all over the place. Plus the desert's not deserts anymore. So this whole system fails. Whole system fails. In every respect, capitalism fails. You don't need to work for anybody. There's food all around you. You don't work anybody for. Right? You got stuff all around you. You got protection, you know. In the whole thing. In the Christianity, because now you know how things work. You ain't got to be believing in hell and heaven and all that bullshit no more. See, everything that fails because the winter just goes away. Because all of a sudden, man, it's just, and now you youthful. I'm going to talk about that in a minute. Everything, you know, it just wipes away because all this winter ideas. So this is Antarctica is at Northland, right? See how big it is? This is America, right? So how big this continent is here? It was all covered with ice. So having all ice go, you got all this land mass. It's fertile. But when they dig under, they find plant life and fossils and everything else. Because it used to be, but because, like I said, because of energy deprivation, it cooled down. So they both covered ice, the one in the north and the one in the south. Arctica and Antarctica. And then you had deserts because the water was taken out of circulation because all the water was freezing. So now you had deserts. See? And energy deprivation. Ice on what? Ice at the poles, desert at the equator. You see, they're telling you that way. Oh man, it's bad. Yeah, it's bad for them. And they got you. They got your mind. You fight. You want to fight it, and it's in your favor. This is your world coming in. Your season coming in. Their season going out. And they realize that clearly, and they can't stop it. Then their last result is you must be the ones to bring this winter, some spring in. They're going to attack you. Just try to stop the spring coming in. The winter is going to do everything it can to stop spring coming because the spring is devastating for them. The spring is destructive for them. It's worse than an atomic bomb. It totally eradicates them. Totally eradicates them in every respect. You understand? Totally eradicates them. Excellent, me brothers and sisters. So they're going to fight it. When you become the icon of it, they're going to fight you. Check this. Hope you understand that, brothers and sisters. See, this was coming. No trace of winter there. No trace of winter people. They got to stop this. They can't live in those conditions. They winter people. Spring coming in. But you see, you really summer people. We're really summer people. So spring is transition. So we need, who's going to rule? We had the winter people rule during the winter. And we'll rule when the summer comes in, but who rules in spring? We have a transition people. So because half winter and half spring, half winter, half summer. That's why Master Muhammad's half and half. When you get to mathematics, all stuff makes sense. The Shia, they half and half. The original, they got a winter body, they got a spring mind. A summer mind, a summer nature, they got a spring body. Winter body. Winter body, summer nature. So they transition people. That's why Muhammad said the kingdom be given to the Master Muhammad until for another 6,000 years, and then return to us. See, we get a mathematics that explains all this. And those people that out there bullshit, put shit out their ass calling honey, we're going to deal with them in the most dramatic, grievous way. But they don't know shit. And they're exploiting our people Have people sick and nervous, visionless, and they're out here selling you shit, talking about honey. Deal with them. Okay. This was coming in, brothers and sisters, see? Spring coming in. There'll be no trace of winter. To eradicate it. But Farrakhan slacks it here. He lacks it in winter. I don't want to go any place. I want to stay here in the winter because he's a winter person. I'm going to leave it there, brothers and sisters. I was going to get to the rest of this, but I think I spend more time explaining to you about this global warming. Show you how you've been lied to about everything. Global warming, you say, oh, it's bad. No, it's bad for them. It's good for you. Been told a lie about Jesus. There's no such name as Jesus. You can't find the manuscripts. It's a name made up. Now we show you how everything they told you is a lie. It's winter stuff. It's a lie now because spring is coming in. During the winter, that was the truth. Why would you give them a Bible, a sealed Bible? Why would God give them a sealed Bible as their guidance? Why would you get, I mean, look at it and say, like I'm called the poison book, because they're winter people. It was right, it was right book for the winter. When spring coming, you take A, unlock it, and all heat comes out. Whoop. That's why the gent couldn't understand. How you gonna put somebody trying to mix your blood? Because they're winter people, it's winter time. They're the ones gonna rule in the winter. They can handle the winter. They like the cold. Cold don't bother them. We can't have you. So some people, man, they can't come out, man, they freezing and shivering. How are you gonna rule anything? They don't know how to deal with the cold. They don't even come out of their house, man. They can't come out of the house. They can't come out of the house to get some wood to warm up, man. So they got, hey, master, give me some wood. They gotta warm up. They gotta depend on him for everything because they don't know how to deal with the winter. They don't know how to deal with the winter. But they don't know how to deal with the spring. The spring is coming in now. Now it's Master Muhammad's time and it's Shia time. It's Iran, yeah, but there's summer. But remember, spring and summer get along. They get along fine. Spring and summer get along fine, don't they? So when you put this right together, bro, it's like melody, music. It just fits together. Because when you look at it that way, you never would have made that connection about why Master Muhammad. They can't tell you why Master Muhammad, the way he is, why he would rule. They can't explain to you. They say, he was like that because he had to hide who he was to come here and talk to us and stuff like that. But the mathematics, actually, the mathematics is clear. Their transition team. Assalamu alaikum, brothers and sisters.